This is the Vancer Pro and I've enabled God mode on it. This basically means that I've downloaded the God mode firmware from Vancer's website. To fully respect the name of the firmware, I guess we have to start from performance and specs, so let's check out what components the mouse is using. The sensor is the well-known 3395 from Pulsar, but the MCU is from Cinewealth. The chip itself only has a Vancer label on it, and they have mentioned that it's a custom Vancer solution, but you don't need to be a hardcore inspector to find out that it's Cinewealth. It's a fairly unknown manufacturer in terms of gaming mice, and most mice that are using these MCUs are budget wired mice. This makes the choice a little alarming for me, and for good reason, because there is quite a lot of motion delay. We are talking about 6 milliseconds over the CA13C, which is way more than any other wireless mouse that I've tested. Even when using the mouse wired, there is about 1 millisecond motion delay on top of the CA13C. This could be due to a bad implementation with motion sync. To be fair, the MCU choice should not have that much effect on latency. The key is the firmware running on the MCU. It's not all bad news though, as Vancer is aware of this high motion latency and they are looking for a solution. And for example, the Dream Machine's DM7 has a Cinewealth MCU and about 2 milliseconds of motion delay, which is not top tier but much better than this one. I've already tested one set of updated firmware and the 6 milliseconds of motion delay is still there, so it does not seem to be that easy to fix. Otherwise, the mouse is pretty decent. The clicks are not the best ones I've tried for sure. They are somewhat mushy, but at least they are light, so I'll give bonus points for that. The click latency is also fairly good at about 3.5 milliseconds. Side buttons are very mushy and there is quite a lot of pre and post travel, but the scroll wheel is decent, the mouse feet are actually very good, and the coding, for example, is very grippy and nice for me. The shape is quite unique compared to what I've used before, but it's very limiting in terms of grip styles. For example, there is no way that you could palm grip this mouse or even relaxed claw it properly. Or you can, but at least it feels very uncomfortable for my hand size. Aggressive claw feels fairly natural, but the shape is just, in my opinion, something that seems a little like the Xtrfy M4, but is way less flexible and is even worse for that aggressive claw in my opinion. I also have the caster and it's a much safer shape and it's very familiar to anybody that has tried the Starlight 12 or the Ultralight 2, for example. Pretty much exactly the same shape as the Starlight 12 Medium. And one thing I will mention is that the caster actually feels quite a lot higher quality than the Pollux does that I got right here, so it could be that I just got a bad unit. Not to say that the quality is horrible on the Pollux, but the main buttons and the side buttons should be improved. I'll also have to give some bonus points for the Pollux because the shape is so unique and not just another easy to clone. But overall, these Vancer Pro mice are not in a very good state. 6 milliseconds is way too much motion latency for me to consider these as high-tier gaming mice. I have faith that they can fix this, but the thing is that are there going to be other issues and how long is it going to take them to fix those? I will of course test any firmware fixes that they make. I will not be making another YouTube video for those, but I will post the results on Twitter, so go follow me on there if you're interested in whether they can fix these or not. One thing that might be interesting for you guys is that the mouse comes with an LED screen on the dongle, but it's pretty much useless for me. The battery life information can be quite nice, but sadly it's only shown on 25% intervals. The final thing to discuss is price, and these are sold for $110 in the US, and with how these mice perform at the moment, the price is way too high. For now, these Vancer Pro mice are more comparable to low-tier Bluetooth mice than they are to high-tier gaming mice. This is of course just a joke, as the mouse is usable in game, but if you are aiming a target that is switching directions fast, or you just need fast target switching or fast flicks or any kind of fast micro adjustments, you're most likely going to feel that latency. I for sure do, and this is the reason why this mouse does not compete with other top tier mice. But yeah, if they manage to bring that motion latency down to about 2 milliseconds or even lower, I think the price is fine. So let's see what the future brings for these Vancer Pro mice. Will they end up being gaming mice at some point, or will they stay being office mice? Thank you guys so much for watching, hope you enjoyed the video and see you in the next one.